Talk Radio. We got us a special guest today. Hakeem, what's up, man?
What's happening with you, man? How you doing? How's life?
I'm doing good, man, and life is beautiful, just dream chasing,
Gotta. The only way
And
to live it.
do you have a rapping name? Are you Hakeeminator? Are
That
you
that Keem. That's what I go by.
ThatKeem, baby? So
Yep.
we got ThatKeem, long distance real talk radio brother over here. He pops up every now and then to drop a hit like the one you just heard. And the reason we did this unmasking is just to get to know people on a more personal level. So we're gonna jump into it, man. Why do you make music?
Bro, it's one of those things, man. Like you when you make music or you do anything that's a hobby, right? You got to have that purpose in your life. So music kind of besides work and all the other things in my life, the music gives me purpose outside of those rigid walls, and it's something that nobody could really take away from me. There's always, I mean, you could take away my house and put me on the streets, but I could, drum a pattern on the side of the road and probably think of a song. It gives me happiness. That's why I make music, and it's a good therapeutic. It's good therapy when you're going through some shit.
That's true. And it's been a while since I've been back in the workforce, but when I was there, man, I found myself in meetings. I'm talking hour-long
Mm-hmm.
meetings just in my head thinking of
Mm-hmm.
songs I should be writing, bro. Like
Yep.
that happens to you?
Oh yeah, no, thankfully since COVID all happened, right? I have my work desk back there. That's what's going on behind me. So, I'll take little breaks. I'll have my keyboard open and I'll just kind of like hum out a melody and throw it on the keyboard and see what happens. And then, slowly but surely over the day, I'll have a beat, and after I'm done working,
Oh
uh-oh.
no.
Peabody, the Florida man. I think I lost you. There you are.
Yeah, I noticed my signal was weak. I had to switch to my 5G. Sorry, man.
Oh, yep.
But we're back, man. You were saying you take breaks on your keyboard.
Oh yeah, man. Like I'll be in and out of meetings all day long, but between those times, I'll usually jam on the keyboard a little bit, make some songs here and there. It's the luxury of working at home, and I'm very blessed to have that opportunity where I don't have to divide my time.
So are you guys doing like video meetings for work?
Yeah, it's all like on Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm on all
So
day
I don't
long.
mean to get too personal here, but are you in your drawers right now and just doing the dress shirt camera thing?
Man, the what when it first happened, yeah, it was business up top, party on the bottom, right? But but the one thing that you start realizing, there's a psychology about a morning routine and getting dressed like you are going somewhere. Even if nobody's seeing you at the end of the day, it still puts you in that productive mindset.
It's
So
interesting you said that.
nowadays I dress up for work. Sometimes I'll even wear a suit just to feel extra fancy.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because I went to the movies the other day and I put on one of my three pieces again, and I
What the
felt
hell?
like I was like using the bathroom at the movie theater, looking in the mirror, like, yo, you used to be out there, bro. Like,
Yep.
you
You,
was
you,
getting
you
it.
you get the COVID weight. Were you able to Hulk out of it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like where's it at?
Thankfully, I was able to fit into my pants and shirt.
There you go. Hey man, you're doing all right then. Most people gained at least 10 pounds, so you're
I mean,
you're
I'm
in
not gonna
there.
lie. I had a little mental party going on when I fit in it. I was like, check you out, man. You,
You're like put everybody's drinks on my tab.
yeah, I got this. I didn't turn into a potato, man. But yeah, it is true though, because you feel different when you dress like that. Not only do
Yeah.
you feel different, the people that see you perceive you different.
Yep. Perception is reality.
You walk into the grocery store and it's like, sir, can we help you?
Exactly. Yeah, they start being extra helpful.
Yeah,
Every time I've been in a store with a suit, every time it's always a good experience,
yeah.
especially if they work on commission. They treat me super nice and try to
Oh
work with
yeah.
me.
They'll show you
Yeah.
all the TVs, but walk in here
Yeah.
like this, and they'll show
Right.
you a monitor-sized TV. Like,
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's weird, man. Perception is reality. So,
it
you
is, and
know,
that's why so many people take advantage of social media.
yep.
And
That's the
they,
biggest one right there.
Oh
That's
my God.
perception at its best.
Oh
I
my
could
God.
I could rent a Rolls Royce right now and make you think that I'm somewhere in Dubai.
Yes, you could. And everybody would believe you.
Yeah,
Everybody, yeah.
that's just how it is.
It's
That's just
on
how
the
it is.
internet. He wrote it on the internet. So if he wrote it, it has to be true. I read it. I
Bro,
mean,
did you grow up with your parents telling you that don't believe everything on the internet?
I think I did, yeah.
You know what's crazy? Nobody says that nowadays.
Right, because it's
They're just like,
insulting now.
yeah, I mean, it looks like it. It looks like he's there, but
If
yeah.
you say that, you'll get flagged and thrown in Facebook jail, bro.
Right. Been there 2 times so far.
Yeah, that is crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Man, I love the logo. I love what you guys are doing right now, man. I've been out of the loop for a minute, but you guys, man, putting it together.
Hey, man, always open arms. For you guys that don't know, man, Hakeem was one of the Real Talk Radio OGs. He was
Way
our
back.
tech wizard, man.
Way back.
Way back, yo. He's the
Just
guy that
trying
if
to
you
figure
couldn't
out different ways to get it going.
yeah, man, and it's always here, and the door's always open for our
Hell
brother,
yeah.
man. You know that.
Hell
And
yeah.
back to the subject though, we know
Yeah.
why you make music and how long have you been making music, man?
Oh man. So how long? Man, it's got to be at least 15 years now that I've been making music. You know, I started off in middle school after me and my friends were arguing about rappers and who's the best, and I told everybody that I could rap better than that person. And what I did is I had this shitty home microphone, and I was using, what is it called, Shadowville. You know Shadowville?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, dude. So it's like where you could download songs. It was before BeatStars was the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'd find a beat that I liked and I made a track to it. And my microphone, it was something like this, right? Like a little dongle thing. So I had an earpiece and a little dongle, and I recorded this track and put it on MySpace, and it blew up at my school and around the local schools. So I started making music from there on out. There's been a few breaks in between. In high school, that's where I kind of took it a little bit more seriously, right? My junior year in high school, I ended up getting on the local radio station.
Damn.
So that was pretty cool. They actually reached out to us. Now it's not like big time radio station.
Yeah,
it's like local, but
yeah,
it
but
was
for
cool
your
that they
age,
reached out. Huh?
for your
Oh
age,
yeah.
you're a
Oh yeah.
superstar. You're famous.
Yeah. I remember me and my friend, we got together because it was a track that we collabed on, and we ended up just parking in a parking lot waiting for our song to come on because they told us about what time. And man, it was like the best feeling ever. It was the best feeling ever. Other than that, I started doing shows and everything, and then I got tied up with a promoter that kind of did me dirty. So and it wasn't like a big monetary value, but it was more the principle than anything, right? So then I kind of stopped for about 5 years and focused on work. Did that, there were songs here and there, but nothing really published. And I would say, man, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I got heavy back into it. So now I'm kind of going full force into the music thing. It's like a side hobby, so I don't expect to be the next big thing that hits your radio stations, but it's more of like, hey man, I just want to share my music, because the beauty of music is it's a shareable commodity at the end of the day. And if you're just keeping it to yourself, like you're not making the world a better place, right?
Sure.
So I just want to reach people that are on the same vibes, work with people nowadays, help people with their delivery, their pitches, how they should be rapping, just trying to help other people out really at the end of the day. So but yeah, other than that, music, I'm looking at an album that I'm gonna be releasing next year. I have all the title tracks. Yep, I have all the title tracks. I have people in place for music videos and everything. So getting everything lined up. So yeah, that's kind of where the music's at.
So you say you took off on MySpace. Is that like a Wix website you made?
Bro, what? Dude, MySpace, man. I miss the top eights. I miss the top eights. I miss the comments. I miss the little gifs that you could put with all the
Yeah.
gangster
Yo,
animations.
what about the personalization of your page, yo?
Oh, yeah, man. HTML, let's go.
Yeah, you got your background, you got your
Yep.
color templates. I mean,
Yep. We got ice cream paint job playing in the background.
yes, sir. Yes,
Or
sir.
inside peanut butter, outside jelly.
Yo, I wish
But
I could find my password. I know, guys. I'm letting it be known I'm a little older, but if I could, it's the only place that has pictures of me as a child, man.
yep.
So MySpace, whoever, like, if you're out there, give me my pictures, bro. Give me my
You
childhood.
know who you need to talk to?
Ooh,
Justin Timberlake. He
for
owns it.
real? Yeah,
He owns MySpace.
JT,
Now,
I've been blowing you up on Instagram, man. When you gonna write me back, bro?
dude, I wish him a happy birthday every year because we have the same birthday and he never says happy birthday back.
Yeah, they're
Rude.
douchebags, bro. Yeah, I got a whole Instagram feed of just all these famous people I write constantly. I'm talking it goes years back because I'm anticipating for the day that it all comes together and I finally get to meet these people and I can say to them, check your Instagram. Don't talk to me. I've been writing you for years, you asshole.
Dear Stan.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, but they got rid of all the music on MySpace. So my artist page is completely gone. You can still find all the track names, but you can't hit play on any of them.
Damn.
So they're gone. They're gone, man. You know, it's frustrating. You know, there's a few good songs that were out there that I got done right, and they're just gone. But you know, sometimes just like the art out in India where they do the sand art,
Yeah.
they erase it right afterwards.
Damn.
So that's kind of how it works. It's the etch a sketch of music.
So then you gotta question yourself, did it even happen?
Yep. The Olympics started playing in the background. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. That's part of the reason why I was tired this morning. Kevin Durant, thank you for bringing it home.
Oh, I thought you were gonna start talking about ping pong.
No, I mean I did watch Sarah DeWiski. She was really doing her thing out there.
Yeah, no, but yeah, the basketball was good. But yeah, man, music's good, man. It's a journey.
I see that you're still out there helping people, man, and you got a whole album prepared and it's still burning heavily. You know, the passion is still there and you know, when you're making music, is there like at least subconsciously or consciously an idea of who you're hoping that this is going to fall on the ears of, or who is it going to help, or something along those lines?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So as far as when I'm making music, what's going through my head at the time is just, you know, where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Like mentally, physically, whatever, right? Like where's my mind space at? And a lot of my music nowadays versus back then is a lot more real than the party rap that, you know, folks are used to hearing from my old tracks. But you know, the demographic that I'm hoping to reach out to is the same demographic as myself, right? It's the people who are thinkers, right? Thinkers, and they, you know, they got a lot going on at the end of the day. So those are the people that I'm trying to reach out to, kind of wearing your heart on your sleeve and showing that, you know, ultimately they're not alone, right? Because when I listen to music, because I'm my own demographic in this whole mix, you know, when I hear some music, it kind of connects with me and it shows me that I'm not alone with, you know, going through some, you know, shit in your life. So that's who I'm hoping to help out, is anybody going through those difficult times mentally, and just, you know, letting them know, bro, it's normal.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's the power of music, right? That's amazing, and that's how you know you feel different when you're making music like that, because there's a purpose behind it, and it didn't get lost in your trials and tribulations. And speaking on the song that I was playing on the intro, what is the name of that song?
Bleeding,
right? There is some pretty darn good transparency from you on that song in general. So I know there's a few parts that really hit me and I could relate to. And whenever that happens, that's generally when I add them to my Spotify, you know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what you get with transparency. There's no way that we can help others if we can't be real with ourselves.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you know, being real, like at the end of the day, as you know, men, right? Just talking as men right now, you know, we're made to kind of keep everything in, right? Like that's, you know, either by family, your, you know, social group, or just, you know, the culture in general. Like we're told, you know, hey, don't, you know, don't bitch and complain, don't be a bitch, right? So the more you're open to exposing yourself for who you are, and being open and experiencing those emotions and not being ashamed, the better the overall feeling you get and the happier person you become. You know, since I've kind of let go of everything and just put myself out there as much as possible as far as, you know, what I'm going through, um, it in turn made me more happy. So that's the other underlying message is, you know, whoever's holding it in, bro, you gotta let it out in some capacity. Either you make music and you're talking about it there, because I said, you know, music's like therapy. You can put everything out there, and or if you're just talking with some people at the end of the day and just kind of explaining what's going on. But don't bottle it up, man. Just make it, talk about it how you want to talk about it at the end of the day.
And just to clarify, we're talking about men from the 60s to 90s range. We're not talking about 2000s. I don't know if
Yeah. I mean, you got different problems going through school. Those are different problems. But
you
yeah,
guys are a
man.
little bit too expressive, all right?
Yeah. No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
But
You
it
got
is.
all those SoundCloud rappers for sure.
I say that because I can notice the difference. Me being from the '90s era, what you're
Mm,
speaking about is something I can relate to because it's frowned upon if you were to show emotion.
mm,
You're considered weak if you were to love. You were
mm-hmm,
considered weak if you were to cry. And all
mm-hmm.
those things lead to you bottling up inside. And then you go into out of the adolescent stages into your adulthood. And you got all this turmoil in here, man. And why?
Yep. Yep.
Because society told us back then, if you dare shed a tear, you're no longer a man.
Yeah. Just
And
think of yourself as like a Coke bottle with a piece of dry ice in it. You gotta at least unscrew the cap a little bit, because eventually you're gonna break the whole bottle, which is yourself.
yeah, and when that
Yep.
happens, it's terrible, man.
Exactly.
And that's why we make the music. And I think that's exactly what you were saying too, is that not only are you healing your own wounds, but you're healing someone else's out there. And have you ever had anybody reach out to you to let you know that maybe one of your songs was able to impact them in a positive way?
You know, the one song that I'm kind of keeping under covers, that's been completed for about 2 years now, that I'm just sitting on. I showed some close people, and yeah, they they definitely felt that it helped them out, because overall, this is the thing. It goes back to exactly what I was saying earlier, right? It goes back to saying that you're not alone. Everybody, you know, everybody is living in quiet desperation. And when they hear that they're not alone going through these problems, it might be different for each person, but ultimately, you know, I've had some of those people that I shared that song with say, "Man, that shit's real. Like, you know, that kind of describes what I'm going through." So, and that song's gonna be High Tides, and you guys have probably already heard the sneak peek way back in the day on Real Talk Radio. So, I mean, it's up there still if you wanna go check it out.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah. It's one of those live sessions, so it's like mixed in there. But yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
yeah, man. But that was the only song that I really got that kind of reaction to. You know what I mean?
And how did that feel?
Well, you know, that was it was interesting, because that's when my perception of music, you know, came around, where I was just like, that's why we listen to music, is to relate. And that's where the you know, the light bulb went off in my head. I was just like, oh shit, I'm sitting here trying to make something poetic about what I'm going through, but ultimately, like, it's connecting with another human.
Yes.
through the music. Like you're reaching out and giving somebody a hug, even if it might be vulgar, right? Vulgar in some of the words that you say, or there's double meaning. It still hits that person in a way where it's just like, hey, if you're still listening, we're here together right now.
For
So
sure.
it was definitely interesting. It was a light bulb moment for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Because that's what music is. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's not
Mm-hmm.
Lamborghinis and gold pieces of toilet paper. It's yo, like we all go through things, and being gifted with the ability to articulate how we feel, a lot of people in the world can't do that. So when they hear your music and they hear you saying what they've been trying to say,
Yep.
that's when they go find the person they've been trying to speak to forever and say, hey, listen to this song because I can't speak it, but this man spoke it for me. And
Yep.
that's beautiful.
Yep, exactly, exactly. There's a lot of pieces of music that's out there that, I listen to when I'm going through it, and I'm just like, man, it kind of gets me out of the funk. There's a psychology behind sad music. I don't know if you know what it is, but sad music does the exact opposite as what is expected out of the tracks. It actually brings you up. It actually makes you more happy. And that's the reason why, is that connection, is knowing that you're not alone. Same with like metal music, right? If you're listening to rage music and you're an angry person, it actually brings you back down. That's what a lot of psychology papers talk about. I do a lot of research on the mind just because I think it's interesting.
Yeah, you're bending my mind right now because I've just been on a transition of trying to stop making sad music and make happy music. And now you threw curveballs. And we're me and Mr. Peabody, we're gonna go through what you said and let it soak
Mm-hmm.
in. But yeah, that's a unique perspective on that. But
Yeah.
in all, it definitely helps you. It helps you heal, and that's the crazy part about it. And everybody knows just hearing a melody contracts
Mm-hmm.
emotions.
Oh yeah. The keys of psychology. Yeah, you play an F minor, you're gonna be sad. You're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
sad. You play a C major, you're gonna be on a Disney show. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's like, when you're making the music, like when I'm sitting here banging on the keys, right? I want to know, like, I kind of reflect on myself just a little bit, and I'm just like, all right, where am I at? Like, if I'm feeling kind of down or angry, I'll play an F minor, maybe A flat. And if I'm happy or good, like I'll play an E major, or a C major, or a C minor, or an A minor. And that's where I kind of start. I work with the keys that way, because they do you know influence emotion. And I don't know if you know this. I'm gonna go on a little tangent, but
Go do it.
uh, so with music, it's actually banned in some countries. Certain music's banned in some countries. And back in the day, like way back in ancient, well, not ancient times, but more like the 18s or 16s or medieval times. I can't remember the exact dates, but you could be killed for making music, because it's the most powerful tool that's available to the human, right? The pen is sharper than the sword at the end of the day, right? You could cut through so many people just with the keys that you're playing, the words that you're saying. It's hypnosis, really. And that's why, you're when we're listening to mainstream music, they got a lot of smart people in the room with them
Yep.
to kind of, tailor that song to control the mind. And it's not necessarily like, go kill the prime minister of Malaysia, Zagatu style, right? Or Magatu on Zoolander. But it's more of like, how do we want to make these people feel? Like, let's control this person while they're listening to the song.
And what do we want to make them buy?
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
what,
So, and same thing with colors, but that's we're in a really good time to be artists right now, and and not be executed like back in the day.
yeah, it's so
I
true.
mean, our goal really isn't to control people, but it's like just to understand the psychology and make another person feel. And emotion is everything, man. Emotion is everything.
And I always say, like, a lot of people don't realize this, but you just hit on how powerful it is. It's the power of word, right? It's like the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. People read a Bible, they hear a pastor, and for some people, that person moves them with just the power of word. We're
Yep.
using the same thing, but adding an extra dimension of melodies.
Yeah.
And you can sway people to do good or bad, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the people are giving people toxins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, why not feed the people something to brighten their life, man?
Right.
And
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's something Tupac has spoken on dead. You know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
usually anyone that speaks on that dies. So
Yep.
if I'm not around much longer, please carry on the mission.
Hey, you wouldn't have to worry about bills if that happened. You're good.
That's true. Unless we find out in the afterlife, they're there waiting for you.
God just sees you. All right. Well, your total today is this. Would you like to work here or there? It's
Yeah,
like what? Eternity? Really?
well,
So
come with us and let us show your cloud condominium. And this is where you would have stayed had you paid your doctor bills. But instead, over here.
here's your heaven broker. But yeah, man, it's yeah, music has a strange psychology on people, man. You know, these notes, it's evolved with us. This is how we communicated back when we were all cavemen, and we still haven't evolved from those days. We still have all those tendencies.
Yep.
So this is how we were able to control groups of people back then, is through song and dance. And that's what we're kind of doing nowadays on a smaller level for sure, or a
And
larger level depending.
have you ever had to battle with yourself as far as belief in actually doing this, or ever sat down one day and was like, Keem, is this just a complete waste of time? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had those
Yeah.
battles?
Well, no. So my philosophy around music is you can't force it. You can't make it. You can't make it if you don't want to make it. So it's never like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm never gonna make it big time. I'm never gonna get like 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. It's whatever. I'm not, that's not how you have to think about it. You have to think about it like you're in the moment. If you're feeling creative, like shit, create something then. If you're not, man, my keyboard's been can sit on this side of the room for man, a month, 2 months, maybe a year, and I won't make anything. And I can't give myself the guilt of not making music, because if I don't have anything worthwhile to say, it's not worth it. So and with different types of music, I feel your pain with the I'm making a lot of sad songs, like what, I need to make some, dipped out, rolling in the Lambo song, but at the end of the day, you have to change your environment to get into that mind space. At the end of the day, it's not like you can't just sit down and say, all right, I'm gonna talk about Ferraris. Now, how should I start this? You kind of have to let it happen. And if you're in that Ferrari Lamborghini mood, shit, man, make a Lamborghini song. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I've never given up on music. The only time I've gotten close to that is, like I was saying, when that promoter situation after a show. And that was when I kind of backed away from it. I was just like, I need to focus on other things. That was a priority at that time. But I've made music into a job in the past. Like right after high school, I was mixing, mastering, producing, recording artists, helping them with their some of their songs. And you get to a point where it becomes a job and it's not fun anymore. And that was a big problem, because the last thing I wanted to do was make a song after a whole week of, doing studio shit. Like, the last thing I want to hear, like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard Bedrock remix from some of the guys in my area. I'm just like, I'm done with this song. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to avoid this time, is making it more of a natural process where it's just like, hey man, if we're making music, let's make music. If I'm done and I just want to play some Call of Duty, I'm gonna play some Call of Duty.
You know, people fail to realize that sometimes you gotta step back to absorb more creativity.
There it is.
And you might see something while you playing Call of Duty that you use in your next verse.
Yep. Exactly.
And people always try to force art. Like,
Yep.
why try to force art? All you're gonna do is be disappointed in the end.
It's nature. You got to think of it. You got to think of it like a woman, right? You got to think of music like a woman at the end of the day, because if you're trying to build this relationship with this person, and you're texting her all the time, and you're saying, hey, let's go to London, let's go here, let's do this, let's do that, and you have all these plans, and you just slide through on a random occasion when music isn't expecting you, and they're gonna look at you like, what the fuck? Yeah. So like, you don't want to break that relationship. You got to respect each other's spaces. And I don't know if you have a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that, but the one thing that relationships need is space sometimes. Yeah, because you got to experience life, or else you're not gonna have any conversations or anything that you can really talk about on these songs. It's all gonna be fabricated. Yeah. So if you can't create those moments, or you can't find those moments, you want to experience life, is all I'm saying at the end of the day. Fabricating something, it's not very genuine, and that's not how you get the over the speaker hug to another person. You know what I mean? Like, the baby doesn't give me a hug over his songs. Blueface doesn't give me a hug for his songs. Bust Down, I'm like, all right, you're really trying to be a big guy. I don't think Blueface is out there saying, bitch, grab your ankles. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's going around telling every girl that. You know what I mean? He's fabricating, and he's got that team to help him. But for us, I think being genuine is going to be the key differentiator between great underground artists and subpar artists. You got to be genuine and authentic. Authenticity is everything in life, and perception is also reality. So if you give off the right perception about you, and your authenticity matches that, you got a key combination right there.
So true, man. If you ain't putting your heart on a song, if that song don't make you feel some type of way when you listen back to it, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's just how it works, man. That's just how it works. Music's beautiful. It's a woman. Got to treat a woman right.
And what got you back? You said that there was, after that promoter did that to you, what got you back?
Well, it's been like off and on, right? It's been off and on. But when I really got back into it, I was going through a super difficult time, just mentally. Everything. This is like about 3 or 4 years ago. I was in a really dark place, and I just wasn't happy with what was going on, or just me internally, battling my own demons, right? And I made that High Tide song, and that song really, I'm excited to share it with people once it's fully complete. But that song really like kicked everything off. It turned out so great, and ultimately, like, whenever I sing it, right, or play it, or re-go over it, it makes me emotional. It makes me super emotional. That when I felt that type of way about my own music, that's where I was just like, wait a minute, hold on. This is a different dimension into music. Like, I need to jump in this dimension. I've been sitting on 2D this whole time. I need to go to 3D.
So true.
So then I did that, and I just revamped my home studio, and I actually took a lot of music lessons during a year's time, and sharpened my sword, and I looked for mentors. I worked with a lot of really good folks on the underground. Talked to them about their ideas of what music is and their theories, and a lot of it resonated with me, and it's a lot of what I've been saying, and it just makes sense at the end of the day. So when I got my opinions about music validated, it just kind of showed me, okay, we understand the inner lying contents of music, and they just kind of pressed me forward, man. So I've just been making music, and trying to capture that emotion again. You know what I mean? Just trying to capture that feel good feeling.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is that, you know, I'm running around now with the sharpened sword, and I'm like, oh shit, I know how to play the piano. I know how to play the piano now. I can make beats. Let me tell you something about this key in particular. When you do this, it sounds like that. And when you say this in this inflection, it makes you feel like this.
Yep.
And you know, it's fun, man. It all stems from wanting to understand the psychology of people and know how the mind works, because that's like opening up the hood on your car and seeing the engine and being able to work on it. And that's the same thing with the human mind and music.
So true, man.
Yes, sir.
And that's the beauty of it all, man. And I had something amazing I was gonna say, bro, and it just slipped my mind just then, bro.
Well, you know, you'll have a eureka moment, but ultimately, man, you know, this is one thing I'll say. If any of the artists are still watching at this point, you know, collaboration is everything. You know, there's power in numbers, and especially if you're trying to make it on the underground, the more people you have as part of your team and your support group, the better you're gonna be off, and you know, easier it is to be noticed. A lot of people, you know, artists in general, we're very isolated people. I don't know about you, but I'm introverted, but I've had to develop myself to be an extrovert. But I prefer staying at home, making music. You know, not really talking to anybody. I'll leave my phone on the table and have like 30 text messages, and I'm like, I don't even want to read it.
Yeah.
So the more everybody starts realizing, and cut me off when you think of your question, but the more we start realizing that we need to band together to make it, and everybody has to be good, right? Everybody has to be good to make it. You know, we can't have you know, people who are just like making a mockery out of it. But the further you're going to be getting with cross-pollination of plays and views, that's how the mainstream itself gets by, is because they've already built that inner circle. You know, Interscope Records, Atlantic, you know, they have that group of people, and they figured that out, and they turned it into a very large business of great people that collaborate with each other. So your network is your net worth ultimately.
Oof, that was deep. And that's like if you and I do a collaboration, you built your fan base, right?
Yep.
My fan base is built around completely other different people.
Yep.
But when we do a song together, we just integrate it.
Exactly.
My fans become your fans become my fans.
Exactly.
And that is why I stress it to everybody in Real Talk Radio. If you're not making collaborations with new people, you are not using none of the Batman belt tools, man. They're all there. And what I was going to say earlier is that you were speaking on voice inflection, and so many artists don't get this. It's not what you say, man. It's how you say it.
Yeah. Have you ever worked in sales?
Yes.
Okay. So I've managed sales teams in the past, and I now deal with large businesses for my personal job, and I can tell you right now, 80% of how you say the things that you say makes everything. Like, I've said the dumbest things. I've said the most stupid things to like certain CEOs of companies and CIOs, but the way that I said it was just so confident that they're like, okay, makes sense. And I'm like, I'm surprised that you said okay. So but that's the one thing, and that's a really difficult soft skill that you have to develop. You know, soft skills are more in the lines of natural conversation skills and understanding of social situations, but it's a skill that you can develop, and it becomes a soft skill for you where it's just subconscious. And that's the one thing I would tell people, you know, especially when you're making music. You can say, let's see, you could say I hate you, and it can mean so many different things. You could say I hate you, right? That's angry. That's like, I hate you. But hey man, I hate you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as harsh, right? Like that's the whole thing. And that probably wasn't the best example, but
it's more like, man, I hate you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's
I
exactly where I
hate
was
you.
trying to
Yeah,
go with
yeah.
that. There you go. Yeah, because it can mean two completely different things. It's like I don't know if you've seen this, but a person that was learning English was learning about all the curse words, right? After they kind of understood English, and they're like, I can't remember where this was, but they're like, shit can mean so many different things. No, think about it. I'm
It
the
did.
shit.
It
That
did.
shit.
Oh shit.
This is a shitty situation.
Where is that shit?
Yeah, exactly. Get that shit over here.
Yeah, yeah. Get that shit out of here,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. It can mean so many different things, and that's the interesting part about the human language is that when you dive deeper into the words, and this would be like hours and hours of conversation, but when you start breaking down the roots of the words and understanding how they were used in the past versus how they're used now, you could really understand how many different ways you could use that word. That's one of my mentors. He was telling me about that, and he was showing me. Man, it's been such a long time that he showed me this, but he was telling me all about language and how we could use our words differently than how we use them now. But I digress. It's just a big
Yeah.
topic of conversation, and you could definitely look into it.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm a firm believer in no coincidences and everything happens for a reason. And I was
Mm-hmm.
making music before I went into sales,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how to learn how to say things. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And later
Mm-hmm.
on, COVID hits, and I come
Yep.
back to the music world. I mean, I come
Yep.
back full force, and now I know how to say things.
Yep.
And it's just like that's life. You know, we don't
Yep.
even see these pieces falling into place, but it's all a part of the bigger picture. And
Exactly.
now I know how to say things, aka cadence, and it
Mm-hmm.
takes you to the next level, man.
Yeah, yeah. Developing yourself is probably the number one thing that you can do in your whole life. At the end of the day, developing those skills, man. Just those small skills you think, well, I'm not going to dive too deep into talking about like how you know my verbal cadence, right? And my tonality and how I want to say things and you know, you can dive into a lot of things and the biggest investment you can make besides investing in fancy studio equipment or buying $1,000 studio session. I don't know why people do that on the underground is buying these expensive studio sessions because nowadays it doesn't really even matter, you can make the same quality at home.
Yep.
But investing in your education around music theory, around psychology of the human, understanding how those two play together, man, you're dangerous. You're dangerous, and a lot of the skills that you learn in real life, just like you said, sales, man. I want everybody to do sales because then they'll be so much sharper. It's funny when I don't know about you, but when you're talking to somebody who's never been in sales, you have an advantage in some conversations with them.
Oh yeah.
So it's very easy to navigate the way people think, and you can have them say what you want to say, and it's just really interesting. I do this sometimes with some people, but I don't do it maliciously. I just want to see if they would say yes to something, and then they'll say yes. But you can see the difference between that mindset and the sales mindset where you have you're a communication expert,
It
because
is.
that's really what you are at the end
Yeah.
of the day. But
Body language.
communication is everything. Yeah.
You're reading everything.
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh
calling
yeah.
them out 5 steps ahead. I
Mm-hmm.
thought you were gonna blink 3 times like that, John. I really did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the either ors, man. That's my other thing that I'm really passionate about outside of work, or sorry, outside of music is sales. I'm a sales nerd. I just love it. It's a sport for me.
It's
It's a
amazing.
sport. It's just so much fun. Just communicating with people
And it
working
solidifies
with them.
belief. Because
Yep.
in sales, you gotta make yourself believe every day, no matter how long it's been since you had a sale. You gotta
Yep.
wake up and look yourself in the face and say, "Today's your day, man."
Yep. 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 Yeah, no, that's another thing. You brought up a good point. You build thick skin and you understand how to manage your own mind.
Yep.
And that's something that not a lot of people can do. I see people having an argument, instead of trying to diffuse it, they just start yelling at each other. It's just like, no, diffuse it.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, just you don't have to get up in their face. Chill.
Life's too short, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah,
before
but
we hey, this has been a very insightful interview for anybody that's watching. You have evolved just from watching us. I'm about 98% sure. You know, so,
man,
but
I hope so.
before we wrap it out, is there anything wrap it up? Is there anything
Yep.
that you would like to say to the people of Real Talk Radio that might be watching you right now?
Really at the end of the day, like I said, there's a few things that we all need to do. We need to work together, right? We need to come up with ways to collaborate and strategically plan when we're going to release tracks and how to do that efficiently so that we all grow at the same time. We're very lucky to be in this situation. How many subscribers do you have?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. But
But
I know.
I know it was like 7,000 at last time I checked.
Oh, you talking about Real Talk Radio?
Yeah.
About 2.8, 2.8.
Okay, I thought it was 7,000 for some reason.
I wish.
Well, 2.8. Okay, so 2,000 2,800 100 people all together. Bro, imagine what can be done. You know what I mean? There's some companies run on less than, 1,000 people or 500 or 10 people.
Yeah.
Imagine if we all collaborate on ideas and support each other in that progress, and try to make each other better. I'm not a religious person, but I love this one quote from the Bible, right? Men sharpen men like iron sharpen iron. So that's the whole idea behind this. So anybody who's watching, who's still here, God bless you. But let's all get together, figure out ways. Whoever's down, we could all get in a private room and work it out and try to figure out what we need to do. Maybe we have some contacts that we could share to get everybody else further. And ultimately, when we all get there, that's going to be the point where we could really make some noise and have a lot of influence. So that's all I got to say there.
Absolutely. I'm going to piggyback right off of that, man. It's the Real Talk Radio way. I mean, if we all combine our respectable talents and creativity, there's nothing in this world we can't do.
Yep.
I mean, I've said it a million times, they might be able to deny Hakeem. They might be able to deny Mr. Peabody. But they can't deny Hakeem, Mr. Peabody, and 2,800 other people that are all chasing it too.
Very true. Very true.
It's impossible, man. And that's the Real Talk Radio way. And we're going to conclude this segment by going right back to
the reason. Let me bleed. I love the feeling. Praying to a God that I don't believe in. Take my air, cause I ain't breathing. Haven't in a while, so what's the reason? Overwhelmed, this how I'm feeling. Overwhelmed, this how I'm dealing. Diagnose my state of mind. On the real, just a matter of time. I wake up and I'll cross the line. I wake up and I'll cross the line. I don't know if I'm good, but I take a lie. I just wanna breathe, but I can't sometimes. Look me in the eyes, you can see inside. Tell me please if I'm still alive.